Alrighty, do we have some conversations to talk about Chris Olave and possibly many others getting traded by the New Orleans Saints. Want to know who specifically, other than Chris Olave? Find out shortly on the Who Dat Weekly. Hit that intro. Welcome to the Who Dat Weekly, featuring the Dirty Dev's finest, Christopher J. Spires. All right, welcome to the show, y'all. I see you, Jerry. What's up, Who Dat, baby? oh, goodness. Let me try that again, because I got interrupted there. So welcome to the show, everybody. Glad y'all could tune in today. Today we're going to be addressing some trade rumors that's been floating around a lot, and especially involving Chris Olave. So, and of course, it's not just him. Of course, there's many other veterans out there on the Saints team that are also in the trade rumors at the moment. I will cover that shortly. But as y'all know, it's always a good day to talk about Saints football. Want to know why? Because it's a glorious day to not be a Falcons fan. That's never gonna get old. So, all right. So, let us talk about these trade rumors. So, while nothing is obviously said and done, it's just fascinating to see. Maybe the Saints are starting to. Actually, hold on. Let me backtrack that. I think us fans are starting to realize that this team just simply does not have that playmaker it factor, if that makes any sense. We thought it would be Chris Olave. We thought it would be several other players. Like, say, for example, maybe like Pete Werner or Kendre Miller. Possibly, Alvin Kamara's always been that it factor, but as we all know, he's slowed down drastically. And it's like there's a lot of players on this team that are like not just aging, but also they still have value. And you just have to wonder, is it time for the Saints to just start blowing up the team and start trading away their veteran players? Because after now officially 6 games, we're now 1-5. We're just not getting anywhere. Like we're competitive, and that's what I really love about this team. At least they've made this season interesting, unlike previous Saints seasons where we just fall apart and just crash and burn right out of the gate. The Seattle game is an exception, but at the same time, we're still not winning games to start out with. Like the Saints continue to fall short, with the exception of the Giants game, which is our only current win so far this season. And yeah, like I don't know what to think about this team. Like this team it's close, but it's just not there yet. So, and when I speak about Chris Olave, and look, I was so excited when we first got him back in, I think it was 2022, in that draft. I was so excited because I've seen him ball out for Ohio State, and he looked amazing. And I was so ecstatic. It's like, oh, right, we finally got our receiver one, or really the replacement for Michael Thomas. And while I wouldn't consider him as a bust, in a sense, like he has gone downhill in the last 2 years, which is a shame considering that he has a lot of talent at receiver, but unfortunately, this year in particular, we've seen more negatives than we have positives. And and the wild thing is, the injuries have not played a factor yet. So it just begs me to question, is Chris Olave really that wide receiver one that we've been hoping for? In my humble opinion, I kind of mentioned this very briefly this offseason. I don't think he's that guy. It doesn't mean that we should get rid of him. So in my opinion, I think he's a worthy wide receiver 2 at the very best. Or really the very least. I think he's worthy of that. But this team clearly needs a wide receiver 1, and I just simply don't think Chris Olave is that guy. Which is why you're hearing a lot more trade rumors surrounding Chris Olave, especially after this past Sunday where he had a pretty good game, but there are moments where you're like, why didn't you catch the ball? Why didn't you catch that? It was so catchable that I couldn't emphasize how well Rattler played that Sunday against the Patriots. That probably was his best game this entire season. Unfortunately, his surrounding cast did not help him out one bit. And unfortunately, Chris Olave was one of those surrounding cast members. Like Juwan Johnson with the fumble, which I still call BS to this day because I still think he was down. Just me, whatever. Yeah, I mean, it's considered a fumble these nowadays. But at the same time, like Chris Olave while he had obviously the most catches and most yards on Sunday, he had multiple passes that he simply dropped. And one big one would be the one in the end zone where he should have reached out. I've always said that because I used to play high school ball and a little bit of college ball back in my days, but I would say my coach always told me, if that ball hits your hands, you should have caught that. End of story. And Chris Olave had multiple balls like that. He did not catch it, especially that one touchdown drop. I don't know what's going on with Chris Olave this season. While I'm not saying he's having a bad year, usually, at this point, with six games into the season, and now about to be 7 games into the season with the Bears matchup coming up, you have to just start to wonder, should we even keep him around at this point? Right now, in terms of contract, the Saints did pick up his 5th-year option, so that obviously means the Saints do have interest into retaining him. So that probably is good news on his front. But if he continues to play the way he's playing and dropping crucial balls, especially when Rattler's having a really good game, and so far Rattler's been having an okay season. He hasn't blown us out of the water quite yet, but he hasn't done a lot of dumb mistakes. I think he's only had 1 or 2 interceptions all season long, but Olave is just not helping him out. He really isn't helping him out. You have to catch the ball. I'm not expecting him to be a Michael Thomas caliber kind of player, but at the same time, you kind of need a Michael Thomas kind of player or a Marcus Colston kind of player. We need those hands-on receivers, and that's just something I don't see in Chris Olave. And I'm just speaking my opinion, of course. Feel free to leave a comment below if you disagree. That's totally fine. But in my opinion, is it wise for us to trade him? I don't think so. That's just me. I don't think it's a good idea to trade him because he's still valuable. He's still I would say a good wide receiver too. So I think it would be a mistake to actually trade him away. So, now, what about the other players that are currently in conversation for being traded away? So, I've seen Rashid Shaheed's also in that conversation. Now, that one, so this might sound a little controversial here. So, bear with me. So, just hear me out. Rashid Shaheed could be a valuable trade asset because, obviously, he's a good deep threat. We've seen that routinely. And right now his value is really high because we haven't paid him yet, and I expect him. I'm sure he's going to want to get paid, but the question for the Saints is it worth keeping him around? Here's what I would do, and this is just me. I would keep Chris Olave, make him the wide receiver 2, and make him that deep threat. That sounds crazy, but I've seen his tape. I've seen Chris Olave's tape back in Ohio State. He was more of the deep threat guy and the long ball kind of guy than he was the short game kind of guy. So while so far this season he's actually been pretty solid in the short game, but he's not quite there yet. Chris Olave's skill set's better use in the long ball kind of game and the big deep Hail Mary pass. There we go. So I would say trading Shaheed while he is currently in his prime would probably be a good idea. I know that will be painful for Saints fans to hear. I would hate to lose Shaheed because then I just bought his jersey this year. But I mean that's the NFL for you. But at the same time, like, we need an actual wide receiver one. That's just really the bottom line. And in general, the team as a whole needs playmakers, on both sides of the ball. It's not just at a receiver. We need a better tight end. Juwan Johnson just ain't it. I don't know why we re-signed this guy, but he just ain't it. On the defensive side of the ball, it's pretty evident that we need safety and cornerback help. Like, I don't think Kool-Aid McKinstry is that person either. Like, I know he's young. This is his second year into the NFL, so maybe he's still. And of course, he just got a whole new defensive coordinator. So I want to give him a little grace, but at the same time, we need an actual solidified cornerback one. That's for sure. And on top of that, we need a better edge tackle. Cameron Jordan, he's probably going to retire after the end of this season. And then on top of that, we need to start filling in those holes. Linebacker, I don't know about the status of Demario Davis at this point. I know he's getting up there in age as well, and his age definitely is showing on the field. There's been moments where he had a tackle and he just does not wrap up, or he's not fast enough to catch the other guy. So, it's like it's just little things like that, and don't get me started with the O-line. Now, I would say the O-line, for the most part, has been okay. It's been solid. There's been some growth there, but I really do think we need to continue building up that O-line for certain. There's been some players that we got from the undrafted class, Tortelli Simpkins III, I think that's his name. He's been a very, very solid pickup. We got that one guy from Dallas who looks like he's been solid. I haven't seen a whole lot, but in general, this team needs playmakers, and really we don't have legit playmakers. And that is why perhaps trading some of our valuable veterans on both sides of the ball could come in handy, especially towards the next draft, because clearly this team needs better players. They need legit better players on both sides of the ball. Like, we need younger players specifically. I know this team is getting younger, which is great, and I like that. I mentioned in my previous video that the youth movement is definitely starting to kick into gear, but at the same time, we still need younger playmakers. And yes, Jerry, instead of catching passes to win a game, he's too busy teaching people TikTok. We're talking about Juwan Johnson there. Yeah, I totally agree. So, yeah, maybe less TikTok and play more ball. So, yeah. All in all, this team is obviously one big fat mess. And while they've been competitive, and I'm so grateful that they've been competitive, at the same time, we have to start moving on. We have to start actually finding playmakers, because going back to the wide receiver one thing, we got Devon Bell from the Broncos, and I thought he was going to be like that wide receiver one kind of guy, because he's got the build. He's really good on his route runners. He showed that in Denver last season. But where the living hell is he? Like, outside of one game, I counted that he was out with an injury, maybe two. Where the hell is this guy? He's hardly on the field, and when he is, either we get a penalty, or he misses or rather either overthrows them, or maybe he just drops the pass altogether. Like, he's hardly on the field, and I really think if the Saints actually utilize him, because we traded away, I believe, a 4th or 5th round pick for this guy to the Broncos. Utilize this guy at the time being till we actually find ourselves an actual legit wide receiver one. In fact, this guy could be like a solid backup to the future wide receiver one. Like, this guy is a good playmaker. It's just we're not using him. So it's like, what are we doing in that department? I don't know, man. It's like there's a lot. This team obviously has a lot of questions and a lot of holes. like it's holes left and right on this team, and all together, we need to address that big time. So, in the meantime, the one thing I just hope that the Saints remain competitive as the season progresses. I don't expect too many wins. Like, I'm hoping we beat the Bears, but the Bears suddenly, and we're going to talk about that Bears matchup in just a moment. The Bears suddenly are like on the rise, just like the Patriots are. So it's like it wouldn't surprise me if the Bears just finally beat us for the first time since 2008. I think has it been. I think so. Yeah. It's funny. I have a friend who's a Bears fan, and he's always saying like, dude, every time we play, we lose. But maybe this might be the chance we finally beat you guys. I'm like, yeah, possibly, unless y'all, play as the Bears as we've all love and remember. But still, I don't know. It's just this team needs help. And you know what's the crying shame, about to change topic here for a second? The crying shame of this season so far is that Spencer Rattler has shown so much growth. I know I've said this a million times, but it's so clear. Like this past Sunday, we wasted probably his best game in terms of passing. We literally wasted his best game. Now I'm hoping we get even better games down the road, but fingers crossed on that one. It's just Rattler's playing probably his best season as an NFL starter, and he's giving us a case to why he should remain the starter through next season, assuming that he's still around, we don't trade him or don't re-sign him or anything like that, and we actually build around him. And I kind of mentioned this in my earlier videos this offseason, where if the Saints were going to do one or two things. One, we draft a quarterback and build around that guy. Or two, we build around Rattler and we start Rattler and build around him. So far, they kind of did both. They brought in Tyler Shuck, and we all kind of thought, okay, he's got to be the starter for sure. But turns out they chose Rattler. We all thought, okay, Rattler's probably won't have more than 6 games at the very minimum, or very maximum that is. And so far, he's not giving me, or really most of Who Dat Nation, a reason why he should be benched. He's had no bad games, unless you count the Seattle game, which I really don't count, because that game was a disaster from the start. The defense wasn't there. Special teams was a pile of dog crap. The offense they couldn't do anything right that day. So, and really, Rattler still had a pretty okay game, that even in that game itself. So it's this season alone has really opened my eyes to see that while I'm not saying Rattler is the guy of the future, or the quarterback of the future for this team, he's worth investing at least another season with better playmakers around him and see what he's made of. And if he continues to play the way he's playing, then obviously we might just have a really generational backup quarterback, and at least we'll have everything set up for the next quarterback they bring in, whoever that would be. Or maybe they finally start Tyler Shuck along the way. I don't know which comes first, but it's just the possibility with Rattler is there. We've seen him utilize his skill level pretty well so far this season. I like that he scrambles. I like that he gives his receivers a little time. And I like that he can dink and dunk pretty well. Now, I would like to see him be more aggressive in the deep ball. We've started to see him slowly but surely build up that deep ball attack, which is great. But at the same time, we need him to do it more consistently. Do it more frequently. Take those chances. If you get picked off, you get picked off. We already know this season's lost. We're not going to get upset or anything like that. Or at least, I won't get upset. I've seen some Saints fans on social media man, this guy sucks. He just threw a pick. Well, why are you getting upset? We already know we're not that good to begin with. I'm not complaining. I see this season as this opportunity to let this team figure themselves out, figure out where they're at and what needs to change. And I already mentioned the changes that they should probably consider. So, but going back to Rattler is, like I just said, is giving us no reasons to why we should bench him in the first place. So now I have seen a few comments, mainly on YouTube, like on other people's channels, like say for example, the New Orleans Football by Nick Underhill and Mike Triplett. Shout out to those guys, and also our good old boy Jono. Jono, good old Jono over there at his little podcast. This I can't say that word on a public podcast, but you know what I'm talking about. Shout out to Jono over there. But I've been reading some of their comments that they get, and the ones that are like criticizing Rattler are like making they're making it sound like he's the problem. It's like, I'm sorry. Where do you see the problem here? I don't see how Rattler is the problem. Now, have I been critical of how Rattler has played some of his games? Yeah. Like, I think he could be better with his ball placement. I think he could lead the receiver on a little bit better than what he's been doing. But other than that, it's just little nitpicks here and there. He's not purposely losing the game for the Saints. He's not putting the Saints in bad positions. The problem is we don't have playmakers on either side of the ball. Defense can't put up good stops. Offense can only do so much, but we have literally no proper wide receiver one or tight end one. I could even argue we don't really necessarily have a great running back room. I thought we did, but so far that has not been the case. And I know they've been really focused on trying to get that run game set up, which so far I've seen some improvement, but at the same time it's not quite there yet. There needs to be some room. And that probably comes more on the O-line than the actual running backs. I think the running backs are fine, but the O-line needs to do a better job with those run blocks. But anyway, point is, we don't have playmakers. And that is the simplest problem with this entire team. This isn't on Rattler. Rattler's doing one hell of a job as the starting quarterback so far. We need to get some playmakers. End of story. Simple as that. I guarantee you, if we spend next offseason and the next draft finding some actual playmakers, we're good as gold. I can almost guarantee it, we're good as gold. We might even improve from 3 wins to maybe, 6, 7 wins next season, depending on what the schedule looks like by then. Of course, we're not going to worry about that right this minute. We'll worry about this season. So like I said, there's some good things we've seen so far this season out of Rattler. And, of course, we've seen some minor bad things about him as well. But he's not the reason we're losing games. I just want to say that out loud. So, yeah. All right. So, now that little rant is over with, I'm going to briefly go over the Chicago Bears game. Let me go ahead and switch screens for you guys. So, let's see here. Where is my thing about? Here we go. There we go. All right. So, Chicago Bears versus the New Orleans Saints. And it's on the road in Soldier Field. In fact, funny enough, this is actually Soldier Field's last season. Excuse me. This is the Bears' last season, Soldier Field. And why do I know that? It's because, like I already mentioned, I have a friend who's a Bears fan that lives up in Chicago. He told me that this is their last season in Chicago. In fact, he actually wanted me to come up there. But, have you seen airport prices lately? So, maybe one day. Although they're going to be having a new home eventually. So, but anyway, so the Saints versus Bears game. This, I'm expecting this to be pretty close as before. Really, this entire season, unless we just simply do not play well like we did in Seattle. That's been the only road game that's not been very good for us. But other than that, I think this should be a pretty close game. I expect Spencer Rattler to continue to guide the offense to as many opportunities as possible, while at the same time trying to get that run game established and getting the wide receivers involved. So, but it's that defense. The Saints defense, boy. This could be a career day for Caleb Williams and company. Caleb Williams is slowly starting to get a stride. It's actually kind of surprising that he's actually got less yards than Spencer Rattler over here. But it doesn't really matter because Caleb Williams is definitely, I would say, a much better quarterback than Spencer Rattler. Well, I don't know. Actually, the stats say otherwise, but but I guess it doesn't really matter that much. So I would say the key thing for the defense is just try and get some stops. Just get some stops, man. That's all you really need to do. You're struggling to get to force turnovers. Like your best game was against the Giants, and I at this point it's starting to become like pure Ron luck that we won that game. And I'm hoping not. But if the Giants continue to play that they've been playing, yeah, that definitely was Ron luck on their part. But the Bears are just simply trying to find a way to turn around this season. Right now, as y'all can see in this corner here, they're kind of in the mix of the North. Right now, Green Bay's on top because they have that one random tiebreaker that they had against Dallas a few weeks ago. But they're kind of in the mix for first place in the North. Like, obviously, Detroit's in second place because they have one win more than Minnesota and Chicago. But the thing with Chicago is, like, they took down the Commanders just the other night on Monday Night Football. And the Commanders last season, we all know, were just one game short of the Super Bowl. So for them to take them down like that, it gives me a little concern about these guys. So altogether, the defense needs to step up, and they have not done that so far. They've only done that really once this season. They need to step up and make critical stops. They need to make Caleb Williams uncomfortable. But the question is, can this defense even do that? I've already mentioned we don't really have great playmakers on defense. Like, we just simply don't. That's why this team might just simply struggle on... Yeah, this team just might simply struggle to... I just realized hold up. The screen's actually not doing its thing. 1 second, guys. I gotta fix this real quick. Let's see. Can I just... Let's see. How do I restart this thing? Hold up, yo. Okay. Let's see, Mac. Did that work? Nope. Okay. Sorry, guys. Little technical difficulties. Why is this... Okay. Okay. No. Alright, yeah, good. Gotta love the technical difficulties. Am I right? Alright, I'm gonna put y'all on a temporary pre-intro thing real quick. I'll be right back, y'all. Alright, sorry about that, y'all. Things being stupid, so I'm just gonna go without it. Sorry about that, y'all. I'll have to fix that later. I guess later on this weekend. So, but anyway, as I was talking about, the Saints on defense, their goal is to simply try and make life difficult for Caleb Williams, and can they actually make the critical stops that they need? So that really just depends on how the defense plays. And the defense so far has not been good. It's been pitiful. It's been abysmal. They've only had one really good game where they actually took over the game and actually won it for us. This is a defense we cannot rely on anymore. And that's the sad reality of this team. Their defense we cannot rely on anymore. So now for the offense, the Bears' defense, just like the Giants' defense, is kind of underrated. So the Giants' defense, the Bears' defense is not a team you want to like overlook or anything like that. They got some pretty solid playmakers. Like they got, let's see here, they got Gervon Dexter Sr. They also got Tremaine Edmonds, and he's got like 52 tackles so far this season, all solo tackles. Gervon Dexter Sr. has 2.5 sacks. Excuse me. So I think this defense is gonna give us fits, and that while they had a pretty abysmal start to the season defensively, and us Saints fans should know about that, considering their defensive coordinator is yours truly, Dennis Allen. Ugh. So, it just comes at no surprise that the Bears defense is starting to turn its corner, because and of course there's no doubt that the Bears defense, that Dennis Allen is still a really good defensive coordinator. There's no doubt about that. So if he can revitalize that or revamp that Bears defense, then that entire NFC North division they're gonna hate the Bears at this rate. So, and that monstrosity of a Bears defense that we all used to fear back in the days has returned, and I don't think we want to see that. Let me tell you, that Bears defense, I remember that Bears defense from 2006. Oh God, they were a beast. Whew. That was not a team you would want to face, that's not a defense you want to go up against on a routine basis. So, yeah. Anyway, so with that being said, the Bears defense is going to give us everything they got, and more specifically, Dennis Allen himself is going to want to seek revenge in this game, because with the team that fired him midway through last season, even though he absolutely deserved it, I still stand on that. I think everybody in Who Dat Nation stands on that, including Miss Benson herself. Like, he had to go to begin with. He was tearing this team apart. The injuries were bad and all last season. He's probably going to use that as an excuse, which he probably has up by now. But at the same time, I don't care. He needed to go. We all knew he was if you followed him during the Raiders days with him, you knew he was a bad head coach. He cannot take accountability. He coached a good defense, but he cannot coach the entire team altogether. He was just bad. So he had to go. So I expect him to throw everything he's got against us, against Spencer Rattler. And this is actually that game where I'd love to see Spencer Rattler make a fool out of Dennis Allen for not playing him to begin with, or really developing him and coaching him and all that. And Kendre Miller too. I assume Kendre Miller is going to get the ball a lot in this game, like he has been these last couple weeks. I would love for them to display their talent level and to make Dennis Allen wish, man, oh man, I wish I had started these guys soon and not screwed them over. So that would be a thing of beauty to watch. So, but we'll have to see. So for the key things for the Saints offense to do is obviously capitalize on their drives. They have not been doing well on that. They need to get their playmakers out there more active. They need to start making contested catches. They need to get better in the red zone, because I feel they're driving the ball well down the field, but we're just not getting those touchdowns. We're getting more field goals and touchdowns, and I still don't like Blake Grupe. I'm sorry. Yeah, he had a really good week last week, but I don't care. He had I still don't like him. So, yeah. Anyway, so the Saints offense needs to capitalize on their drives. They need to get better with red zone efficiency. They also need to get that run game going as well, and they need to get the passing playmakers more active out there on the field, and ball security, especially ball security. So, yeah. So, who do I have winning in this game? Who do I have winning? While the Bears are, the Bears are good at home, or even though they're only 1-1 at home, 3-2 overall. I wish I could pick the Saints in this matchup, but given how things have gone for us, like we play so close, but we always fall short. This might be another one of those games. So unfortunately, I'm picking the Bears to win, and I think it will still be close. I think it will still be close, but it's going to be the Bears on top. 24-17 is my score prediction. What is your score prediction? Comment below and your score prediction, your opinions on subject matter and everything. So I hope the Saints do win. I would love to see them win, but we're just struggling right now. And this team just does not have the playmakers. I already mentioned that. We just do not have those impact players that make a difference. Like, it's just, last week was a big eye-opener for me and probably for all of Who Dat Nation. Like, seeing Drake May go out there, the game was practically against him because of the penalties left and right by the referees, and they still won the game. And Drake May found ways to beat us regardless of the penalties, and that speaks volumes. And on top of that, the Patriots definitely have better playmakers than we do. So that was a huge difference maker. Like, you compare, say, like, what's that guy's name? I know his last name's Boutte. I don't know his first name, but Boutte looked better than freaking Chris Olave or Rashid Shaheed. and that other guy, I can't remember his name on the Patriots wide receiver core. He burnt us left and right, and you don't see our receivers doing that at all. So it speaks volumes. Like, that game really showed us that we have no playmakers, and I expect kind of the same result, if not hopefully better, but maybe worse against the Bears. So, but yeah, I have Bears winning 24-17. So, yeah. Anyway, so I think that's all I got for tonight. Thank y'all for tuning in. I hope I actually did this past Sunday. I actually had a lot of fun live streaming. I'm going to start live streaming during the game. It seems like I get a lot of folks that want to pop in, talk football, and feel free to talk football with me. I love talking football, doing commentary during the game. So I'm going to start doing that from here on out, even though the Saints season might stink, but I love talking football nonetheless. So, and before I forget I want to give some shout outs to some people who just recently subscribed. Let me find them real quick. I've been meaning to do it. I've been meaning to give shout outs more frequent. In fact, first shout out to Jerry. He gave me a shout out earlier this week. I loved it. He gave me some a little boost there. Love you, brother. Who that, brother? Let's see. There was a Steelers fan that was also. Bruce is on the loose too. Shout out to you. He's a Steelers fan. He subscribed recently. I subscribed to him. By the way, check out his channel. He's got some classic cartoons on there if you love watching cartoons. And also shout out to Ella-Vade. I don't know if you subscribe or not, but shout out to you. I made my promise there. I'm a man of my word, so shout out to you guys. And yeah, just continue to broadcast really share my content, help me grow my channel. And I'm hoping to see you guys live on Sunday coming up against the Chicago Bears. And hopefully the Saints will come through with a win, but fingers crossed. So, alrighty, gang. I think I'm going to call it a night here. It's already 9 o'clock and I got to get ready for bed. So, alrighty, gang. Till next time, who dat? Alright, let's do this.